I am going to dress the cistern. So we've done dressing of the wash hand basin. This is the siphon that came with it. The first thing I need to figure out is what side is the handle going to go on. So as we said with the hot and cold taps is, visually impaired, most people are right-handed, normally goes on the right hand of the cistern, the flush handle. If you're in the house and it's on the left, just swap like for like. If the customers are used to using it on that way, there's no point in you changing it over. Also, you've got to change the pipe work. So when I do that, if it's going on this side, the right-hand side, I can't put the siphon in this way because the link arm to the handle will be on the left-hand side. So I'm going to put it on that way. I make sure I've got the thick rubber washer that comes in the pack on the bottom. And then I push it through to the bottom. I've also got the big jam nut. That winds up on the bottom. Again, be careful when tightening. It's only a plastic thread. Sometimes it can jump. And then you've either got to try and sort something out, put some PTFE tape on it or something. I'm going to do it hand tight for this purpose. And if you look inside, I've got the siphon over here. Now this is a side entry system, which means the inlet is from the side. So I know for a fact the ball valve and the handle is going to be on the right hand side. So I've got to just twist that till it's hard up against it. If I do it that way, sometimes that impairs the float operated valve working or the ball valve working. So I turn it up, I get my spanner, give it a good tighten, so that'll be fine. So that's the siphon fitted now. Next thing we do is the ball valve or the float operated valve. Loads of different types. This is the old fashioned one, the old fashioned bolt, side entry, so it goes on the side. The bottom entry ones come up from the bottom. There's less pipe work that you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is on these ones, we've got a red orifice on this side. Now this is for low pressure cisterns. If I put that on top of the cisterns just now, and I'm going to crack open this valve. So if I go to a house and there's storage water, i.e. it's coming from a tank in the attic, and I turn the water on and it's trickling in through the ball valve, the one thing I've got to do is I've got to take it apart carefully, remembering how it goes back together. I say there's loads of different ones in the market. I can put that on the bench. There's a washer in here, just pop that out, like that. That is a diaphragm washer. And then inside, you can see the white orifice, and that whole plastic thing comes out there. So as you can see on the camera, if I show you the size of the holes, they're two different sizes. The red one is a lot bigger, obviously low pressure, coming from a storage tank. It means there's just more water coming through and it fills up a bit quicker. The white one is for high pressure, which means it's off mains. I don't want it to come through too quick. It'll fill up really quick. And sometimes if you flush the siphon, it fills up so quick, it just continues to run into the toilet pan. This is the high pressure orifice, the white one. So I'm going to keep the red one there. I'm going to put the white one back in, go through the same procedure when I took it apart, make sure that cup goes back in with the holes on it. I put the diaphragm washer in. Sometimes if you get a water hammer in your house, it's probably that washer. It sort of perishes over time, it starts vibrating, and you think you've got a loose pipe somewhere. A lot of the time, it's just the diaphragm washer. Make sure it goes back in the right way. I get the handle up, make sure the peg's still in it, and there's a notch on the top, and there's a notch on the bottom as well in here, which means I can't put it on, on the skew. It'll only go back in one way. And when I'm putting it together, I'm looking for that notch, and it just sort of fits in. Then I can feel it now, so give it a wiggle. If it's not in the notch properly, it will just spin right round. So I know for a fact they're fine. I want to keep that orifice in the ball valve, so I just put that back in. Maybe someone can use it at a later date. And now the handle, where you put the ball, is on a notch system. So when I tighten the ball up, it pulls the plastic bit closer in and stops it from moving sideways. So next thing I'm going to do is I get a washer. The rubber washers always go on the inside where the water is, and I've got a nut here, and there's one on the inside, one on the outside, so it means I can move it either in or out. There's also a sort of raised edge on it. That raised edge fits in the hole, and that will centre the ball valve for me. So I'm going to put it in hand tight just now. I'll push it through, make sure that raised bit is on the hole. There we go. And then I can tighten it up. And the first thing I want to make sure is the ball valve is moving freely. So it's a bit difficult if I'm doing it on the floor, but right away there I can see that's absolutely fine. I tighten that up. Again, plastic threads, just be careful when you're tightening them. You don't want to overdo it. And I can check inside, it's moving up and down freely. Next thing I want to do is, if you look at the size of the siphon, it's about 3 or 4 inches below the depth at the top of the cistern. Before we used to have external overflows. So on that side's a ball valve, on this side would be an overflow pipe, a white pipe that went outside. Normally cut at an angle, like they called it a bird's beak or a bird's tooth or whatever they called it. And that meant if that was ever overflowing, it meant the ball valve wasn't closing off. And as a safety feature, it was going out the overflow. Most cisterns, or all cisterns, should have an internal overflow, which means you don't need the external overflow anymore. When it gets to a certain height, it just runs over the siphon and runs out the back of your toilet pan. So sometimes you see some water, or especially down here, you see some limescale forming in the back of the pan. It's just a trickle through. That means you've got an internal overflow. And the theory behind that was you were more inclined to get it fixed than just leave it. So because that's the overflow we don't use anymore, I'm going to put the cap on it. I'm going to put the washer on the inside. Now, the only reason I put the washer in there and that nut goes onto it, it sort of looks nicer on the outside. But sometimes if you twist that nut up too much, you'll sort of kink the washer. Now the handle is going to go on the right hand side, so I've got to blank this hole off as well, because it means the handle can go on either side if need be. I'm going to put what they recommend they send with it. That fits in the side, and now I'm going to put the handle together. Now the handle comes in bits. We have the handle, a bar, a circlip, we have the thread and the nut, and obviously the arm. So the first thing I'm going to do is, there's no washer for this one. I'm going to put the thread bit on and then run the nut up. Like so. I'm going to get the handle, and then I've got a bar, and there's a notch in the bar for the circlip to fit on. So I put it in this side, it's went too far in. So they're obviously different lengths. So I put that side out, and then I can see that this is fine for me. That stops the bar coming out. Then I can put the handle in, but I can't because I put the circlip on, which means it's too big. So I take the circlip back off again. I put the handle in, then I put the circlip on. And then the handle will move. Now I've got the lever arm. Sometimes they come in brass, all different plastics. There's 2 squares on it, so the handle can go in either hole. It'll probably go in the back one, and then there's 2 holes for the link arm to go into as well. So if I pull the link arm up, it's a bit awkward. I'll put it on the bottom one. If you can see that, my hand in the way, that holds onto it. And then what I want to do is I want to try and hold the handle as level as I can and find out what square the hole goes into. So I'm thinking that's probably fine that way. I'm not putting any undue strain on the arm. Remember, this is only plastic and can crack. Then what I'm going to do is I tighten that up and that holds it on. Wrong size of screwdriver, but it doesn't matter.
What's that?
It doesn't matter. I put in the screw, just tighten it up. Or again, because it's all plastic, don't tighten it too much, because all you do is rip the thread I can feel it tighten up, and all that does is bite on to the arm and stops it pulling off. Oh, if I get in. And now, if you can see it, all flushing. And then hopefully that won't leak. Not holding my breath. So now all that's done, the plastic lid that goes on, there's a screw to hold it. But because the siphons are so small now, I've got a thing that raises the siphon up. I put them together. That goes on the top. It raises it up. And then when I'm finished the job and I've set all the levels, I put the lid on. These are a bit awkward, the plastic ones. And then the plastic screw goes in the top and holds it all together. And that is dressing a low level plastic cistern with the handle on the right hand side. So we're going to fit that on the wall later on. So I'll just leave that all together so I don't lose anything. Oh. This is a flush pipe and the adapter cone. So when I get it all set up, I may have to cut bits off of this. But at the moment, keep it all together, I'm going to put the flush cone on one side, the nut, and the V-washer. This will just keep it all together so I don't lose it. I just wind it up. Again, being mindful, it's all plastic. I'll put that on top of the cistern.